Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. It is a cold and rainy and wet day in Cape Town, but we are happy that you have joined us today. I'm going to suggest today's going to be really great. It's going to be good. I'm going to suggest that you grab yourself a cup of coffee. Go get your hot chocolate, in my case, although I didn't plan it, so I didn't bring my hot chocolate, or your cup of tea, and then come back and join us. And then happy Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim friends who celebrated Eid in this past week. So yeah, I hope you guys had a lovely time with your family and friends. And and if there's leftover boober, come and join us with your bakkie or boober. So guys, today I am super excited about today's special guest because she is my colleague and a dear friend. Now, I purposely didn't share my introduction with Jess because after I read it, she's probably going to be like, nee, Chanel. She's super humble and literally one of the sweetest people that I know, but I am just going to brag about her for a little bit. Jessica Blom works as the Western Cape Operations Manager at the Center for Early Childhood Development. She also holds the position of being the Western Cape chairperson of the Literacy Association of South Africa, otherwise known as LITASA. And guys, she was one of the Mail and Guardian's 2019, or Mail and Guardian's 200 or top 200 young South Africans, and she was recognized for her work in education. So that is amazing. I'm going to ask that you guys give a round of applause and show that confetti and just show lots of love to Jess, who wears so many hats and does all her work so really well. And then also guys, sadly my producer Adele has left me, but she left me with a lovely laptop which I'm using today, and she still told me counted down. She was like 5 minutes to go. Okay, showtime. So she's still with us here in spirit. So hey Adele. Okay guys, so let's get into it. I'm going to welcome Jessica in. Let's give this virtual round of applause for Miss Jessica Blom. And also, if you don't know me, I am Chanel Fredericks and I am the Outreach Program Manager at the Cape Town Museum of Childhood. And welcome to the Cape Town Museum of Childhood's Insta Chats. We are going to be speaking to Jessica Blom today. Let's just get Jessica's request. Okay.
Hi.
Are we matching?
Green. It's the color.
Love it. Oh my word. Good morning, Jessica Blom.
Morning.
How are you today?
Good. I mean, as you said, chilly. It has just suddenly become winter. Very much.
I mean, I think last week we were still like enjoying the sun. Everybody was doing their washing, and then this week the way that you said, hi, Bo, and no washing this week. Stay indoors, and maybe it's good for us because we have to stay indoors. So I think the weather, the weather's got a mind of its own. Okay, Jess, I gave this whole introduction, and I'm sure you were like, Chanel. But it had to be seen. Okay, I had to expose it. I had to put it out there. So Jess, other than working from home, I know you're working super hard. What other things have you been doing to keep busy during this lockdown? I know you have your two gorgeous cats, Fox and Rosa. What have you been doing? What have you guys been doing?
I mean, so I have loved hanging out with the cats a bit more. I love them. But mostly been doing, before it was raining, gardening stuff because I really like working with plants. So we embarked on a whole herb and veggie planting situation. So have parsley, we're growing peppers and chilies. So that was a good time, but now it's raining and I hope that they don't all die. The other thing is that we moved into a new house at the end of last year. So it's also given us an opportunity to do stuff we haven't got around to doing, like sorting out cupboards, reorganizing the kitchen, finally putting pictures up on our wall. So it's been good. And I started doing yoga, which
Ooh.
I'm very good at, but I'm trying.
Okay, look at you, the Yogi Bee. Okay, guys, you know how it works. We see you. Hello to anybody that has joined. Jess, let's just say hello to some people. Hello, Annika. Hello, 58 Films. TF Fits Federation. Adele without an E. Michaela, for the love of life. Oh, I love that. Bridget Cart, Sarah Francois. Let's see who else is here. Yusra, Sarki, and Roz. Hello, guys. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. Okay, guys, you know how it works. You ask questions. You are in. I wanted to be nice to Jessica and give her a skip for this, but I think I'm going to leave it in the audience's hands. So at the end of our interview, we always play a game, okay? And this year, this time I left out who is your favorite singer or band. So now I'm leaving it in your guys' hands, okay? The people shall govern. And so if you want to hear Jessica Blom sing one of her favorite songs, you guys need to say yes, show hands, and we can make it happen, okay?
It's emotional. No singing for me.
Okay, so Jess, as I mentioned earlier on, you were chosen as one of the top 200 young people. You were recognized for your work in the education sector by the Mail and Guardian. What was it like being recognized for this work that you do? Tell us a bit about this experience, because I know you went to Johannesburg, you attended the award ceremony, you met such a lot of lovely people. Tell us about what that experience was like.
I mean, so I feel very lucky and I feel very privileged to have been on the list last year. Very lucky. And a big shout out to Bridget, who wrote the motivation for me. So thank you so much. It was really fun, to be honest. It was really fun to go to the gala in Joburg, and it's a whole thing. It's black tie, it's fancy. And I felt very honored to be able to stand up with the education group. And you meet all sorts of different people. There's science, there's entrepreneurs, so it's not just, we tend to stay in our little bubble. So we stay in like our ECD bubble or our education bubble. And so it was really nice to be able to connect with people from other sectors and other young people who are doing incredible work. At the same time, it was a little bit strange for me, to be honest. I don't like to, as you know, be like in the forefront, although CECD has forced me to do radio, which I'm not the most natural person to be doing that, but I've definitely had to open up. And so it was nice to be able to be recognized for the work that I do. I do prefer to be like a background person, just doing what I need to do in the background. But I felt really lucky and privileged.
Great. Okay, Jess. Okay, so before we talk a bit about CECD's work, so for those of you, I'm sure all of us should know that ECD stands for Early Childhood Development. But Jess, how would you, if you could give people a definition of the term early childhood development, how would you define it for the people?
Okay, so early childhood development is a period of human development from what is now from conception. It wasn't always, but from conception to usually the age of 6 or the year before the child enters into formal schooling. So early childhood development is really an umbrella term that applies to the processes by which children thrive and grow, whether that's mentally, emotionally, physically, or socially.
Okay. And Jessica, why is early childhood development so important for our young children?
I mean, this is a whole thesis in and of itself, but I'll give a little short overview. So I mean,
early the abstract of the thesis.
Early childhood development is really critical for determining the future behavior, health, and learning of a child. Often people talk about the importance of the first 1,000 days, which is counted from conception to about 2 years. And this is really a time of really rapid growth and development for a child. And so things like making sure children have the appropriate nutrition is really important because that influences their cognitive development. Also making sure that the mothers get the correct maternal health that they need. And early childhood development really is the foundation, is the stage at which the foundation for everything needs to be set. So when a child enters into formal schooling, they are prepared. The curriculum assumes that a child enters in at a certain level. And so during early childhood development, that foundation has to be set. So children need to be exposed to emergent literacy, emergent numeracy. They need to know their shapes. They need to know their colors. And so it's a really critical point for all of those things to take place.
Okay, I just want to read some of the comments. Bridget says, come on, Jess. I think that's for the singing. Eustace says, sing for us, Jess. Hebron Gomez says, hey, Jess. And Katrina and JT Rowley is giving you some thumbs up. And Michaela says, how brilliant is this woman? I couldn't agree with you more, Michaela. So, Jess, what are some of the challenges regarding ECD in South Africa at the moment?
So this is another thesis topic, but I'll just talk about some of the points. So the early childhood development sector in South Africa has been historically neglected. Specifically, it has had very little government support over many years, despite the fact that it's such a critical phase in a child's life. And because it's been historically neglected, there's huge amounts of inequality in the sector. And a parent's income and what they can afford directly impacts the quality of early learning that a child is able to receive. And then there are also a whole plethora of issues, but 70% of South African children are not in any form of early learning at all. And so a lot of people, when you talk about early childhood development, think of creches or of ECD centers. But in South Africa, there are hundreds of thousands of children who are not being able to reach early learning at any point before they enter into formal schooling. And then in terms of ECD centers or creches, there are issues around teachers not being properly trained. Teachers and principals also do not earn a living wage. Many of them earn very little money in the sector. Lots of creches in South Africa are very informal, and the ECD centers have to kind of reach certain minimum norms and standards. And once they're able to reach those minimum norms and standards, they then have to register formally with the Department of Social Development so that they're legal. But many of our ECD centers just can never and will never be able to reach those minimum norms and standards. So a lot of them are seen as being informal or illegal, but they still play a really valuable and important role in looking after children and ensuring that some form of learning takes place. And then, I mean, we're in a pandemic right now, right? So that also is a huge challenge for the sector in South Africa, a massive challenge. At the moment, ECD centers are still closed across the country. We don't know when they will open again. There's been very little said from a government perspective as to how they'll open, how they're going to make provision in terms of health protocols for ECD centers. And it's a massive issue because during this time, most teachers and principals are not getting paid at all. And also, I don't know what's going to happen from Monday for children who have, for people, sorry, who have small children, and where will those children go?
Yeah, scary points that you're bringing up there, Jess. So you are the Western Cape Operations Manager at the Center for Early Childhood Development. What does, and so the Center for Early Childhood Development, guys, it's a mouthful. It's like, so we call it CECD. Can you tell us a little bit about the work that CEC does? But before you do that, Jess, I just want to read out some of these comments. So Jessica Renason has joined us. Hello, Jessica. Tulani says abstracts, Jess. And then Anika says, wow, Jess, you are super inspirational. These issues in the ECD sector has such a massive ripple effect on the child's education. The government seriously lacks in this regard. And then Tulani says, I so wish many parents could watch this and understand how crucial ECDs are, as well as being hands-on in their children's development. Well said, both Anika and Tulani. So Jess, CECD, what is CECD about? I think last year we celebrated our 25th birthday, which was really fun. So tell us about what CECD does.
So, as Chanel said, CCD has been around for 25 years, and it has the vision of always putting young children first in society. So no matter what we do, we always put the young child first. So we run a few different programs. The first program is our integrated ECD program, which is the work that we do with ECD centers. And on an annual basis, we're working with anything between 200 and 300 ECD centers across the country. So we work in the Western Cape, we work quite a lot in the Northern Cape, in the Eastern Cape, in the Free State, so we're across the country. And our integrated ECD program offers a comprehensive package of support to ECD centers, but it's very much based on what they need, because ECD centers and their quality and where they are, or how formal or informal they are, varies greatly. So we very much tailor our programs to what ECD centers actually need. So it's anything from training teachers, training principals on how to run ECD centers, because ECD centers are basically businesses. So how do you budget? What do you do with staff contracts? And then we also will provide educational equipment and how teachers use that educational equipment. We also do infrastructure upgrades. So we will fix ECD centers if they need to be fixed, and we have over the years opened a number of brand new ECD centers, so building a physical building from scratch. And then we also work, because as I said earlier on, 70% of children are not in any form of early learning. So we run a family outreach program, which is where a family outreach worker, she'll go door to door and recruit mostly mothers who are at home with their young children, and often because they are unemployed. And then she works with those mothers around how to stimulate and how to make sure learning still takes place. Can learn the basics. They don't necessarily have to be in a formal physical building, and that parents themselves, while you're cooking, get your child to get through, or it's just really simple things that encourage immersion literacy and numeracy. And then we do lots of other things. We do quite a lot of research in the sector. If you visit our website, you'll see lots of publications and research into early childhood development. And of course, the Cape Town Museum of Childhood.
Yeah. Jess, it looks like you might be breaking up a bit, but it's not too bad yet.
Okay.
No, it seems fine now. When you said okay, it seems
okay.
Fine. But I think everybody got the gist of what CECD does. Karisha says, such brilliant information, Jess, learning so much. And then Kay Barkley joined us. Chess gives a thumbs up. And then Vanessa also has joined us. Hello, guys. Thank you for joining. As I just called me. If you have any questions, you can send them through. And then Anika says, this is the best interview by far. I'm so passionate about ECD. Cool, man, guys. We're happy. Auntie is trying to call me. I don't know why I'm doing this at this time, but anyway, if it pauses again, I'm so sorry. Okay, Jessica, how long have you worked at CECD for?
Gosh, I've worked at CECD. This will be good. This is my 5th year, so it's been a while.
Yes, but I'm sure it's been an amazing 5 years. And, I'm sure when you look back and reflect on some of the work that you did, or projects, or programs that you were involved in, was there any moment that really stood out for you and was like an aha moment, like a moment that you would cherish? About oh yeah, a moment that really stood out for you in your work, or a highlight.
So, maybe I should give a little bit of a history as to how I landed up in this job.
Yes.
So I studied social work at UCT and then did postgrad studies in social development. Chanel is also another UCT social worker. And while I was at UCT, one of my lecturers was Eric Atmore, who is the director of CECD. And I was always very interested and very passionate about education in general. And the more I suppose, looked into education, looked into the problems of education, I started to realize that really if that foundation is not there from the bottom, that needs to be there, and that is so important. And so when Eric offered me a position at CECD, I took it straight away. Chanel, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
So
just checking.
Jessica, the sound is breaking up a bit, but great to see you again. I can hear you. It's just it's a bit funky, but I can hear you.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay,
Michaela
should I
says
go
the
in?
connection is perfect. So, guys,
Okay.
if it is being a bit funky, just let us know, and I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll try to do something.
I know it's the weather. I'll just blame it on the weather. And so especially working at CECD really made me realize how important it is. And so I wouldn't say that there's necessarily one specific moment or one specific highlight, but for me it's really realizing the importance of the work that we do. And also for me, I think the most inspirational part and the highlight is working with all the women who run ECD centers. I mean, they're sometimes the most amazing women who offer the best that they can for the children that they're taking care of, often in very difficult and under-resourced areas, and to see what they're able to do. And the fact that many of them work for the day with very little income, and our whole sector depends on them. I just think they're the most incredible women, and I feel so privileged to be able to work with them.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, I think, guys, everybody's shading me and saying it's my side. Guys, I can't help that my connection is not so great. It's fine, and it's yeah, I don't know. Let's just, like Jessie, let's blame it on the weather. I wanted to just make a point about Professor Eric Atmore, guys. So I also studied at UCT, studied social work at UCT. And, there comes a time in your studies where you attend lectures and you just go. Sometimes you don't do the readings and so forth. But I was legit scared of Eric Atmore. Like, you would sit there with a class list and he'll be like, Jessica Blom, where are you? Tell me what are the challenges in ECD? And then you needed to have your A game on. So whenever I went to Eric Atmore's lectures, I made sure that I did the readings and I was prepared. So I just thought I'd share that about Professor Eric Atmore. Jessica Renaissance says, so inspiring to meet and understand the heart of these incredible women and entrepreneurs. So we can say a hearty amen to that. So Jessica, what has CECD been up to during this lockdown? Are there any exciting projects that might be coming our way soon?
So they are. It's kind of been weird though during lockdown for me not being able to be out in the field and to be home. It's kind of been a strange feeling to be at home. But during lockdown, we've been trying to do what we can. So supporting families and teachers with some of the ECD centers that we work with in Cape Town. And just to give a shout out to one of our colleagues, Gloria, who started a soup kitchen in Red Hill, and she's been fantastic. And they're feeding just everybody who lives in Red Hill at the moment. So just in terms of exciting projects, actually during the lockdown, we got confirmation that we will be running a 5-year project in the Eastern Cape, which is incredible, and we really look forward to starting that whenever that may be. But we are really excited to embark on a 5-year project.
Okay, and then Jess, can you tell us a bit about, I've seen that there's a petition on Facebook. Can you tell us a little bit about that petition?
Yeah, so for anybody else who's really passionate about early childhood development and what's happening, sorry, at the moment, have a look at our Facebook page. We have started a petition to basically call on the government to basically tell us what are the plans for ECD. When do they want centers to open? What planning are they doing? How are they going to help ECD centers? Just really trying to push them to talk about early childhood development and to talk about the opening of ECD centers in particular. So definitely go, if anybody's interested, go have a look and sign the petition.
Great. Okay, Bridget says, Eric always picked on Jason said in class. Can you confirm this, Jessica? And I think
Yes.
Sid is watching as well. It's truth. Okay. I can't wait for Eric to actually watch this video. He's going to be like, this is ludicrous. Anika says, how can regular Joes like me get involved with these types of initiatives?
I mean, so if early childhood development is something that you're really interested and passionate in, I would suggest that you look for an ECD center in your area that might need help. But otherwise, just give us an email and we can always chat about how you might be able to get involved and to help out. My email address is, maybe I should give the CECD one, it's easier. It's cecd@iafrica.com. Because there are many ways that people can get involved. And I think that's something that the pandemic has also taught us, that we can help in more ways than we thought we could, and that just by connecting people together, amazing things can also happen.
And I think it's, like you said, Jess, it's about supporting existing organizations and things. Like you said, start with your community, get involved there. I'm sure there are centers there that need some assistance, or you have certain talents that you can go and bless another center with. So thank you for that. And then Michaela says over 3,950 signatures are already on the petition. Guys, we can make it. It can be 1 million. Let's get it there. That's the challenge. Okay, maybe not. Okay, yeah, that's the challenge, guys. Let's do this.
Go big or go home.
There we go. There we go. Okay. So Jessica, you are the Western Cape's chairperson of LETASA. Can you tell us a little bit about what LETASA is about? And then also, I know you guys have an exciting conference, a virtual conference that's taking place. Can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Yes, so the Literacy Association of South Africa is all about bringing people together to grow a literacy community and to promote literacy in South Africa very broadly, whether that's early literacy, whether that's children's books. It's really a broad organization. It is volunteer run, so everybody who works for LETASA does it on the side and on top of their normal day-to-day job. It also has 4 different branches. So there's one in the Western Cape, one in Gauteng, one in the Eastern Cape, and one in KZN. And all of the branches run events or workshops or seminars that promotes literacy in some way. And so every year we host a huge annual conference. This year it was meant to be in KwaZulu-Natal, but we're going virtual, which is quite exciting, and we'll have to see how that goes. So it's on the virtual conference will be on the 19th of September, and the conference is on, so every year there's a different theme, literacy and children's literature in contemporary Africa, which is quite exciting and a very important topic. They estimate that about 60% of South African homes do not have any books in them, which is terrifying. And also a lot of our public libraries are very under-resourced. And so a lot of children don't have access to literature and don't also have access to literature in their home language, which is very important. So the conference really aims to look at the complexities surrounding book development, specifically looking at languages and African languages. And it's also an opportunity to celebrate and to showcase research and initiatives that are promoting literature and language in Africa.
Okay, so Jesse, if people want to find out a little bit more about LETASA, can you share maybe the website and any social media platforms that they might be on?
Yes, so the website is www.letasa.org.za. On Facebook, you can just search for the Literacy Association of South Africa. And then on Twitter and Instagram, the handle is at literacyasocsa.
Okay. And then can you give us the same information for CCD? Where can people get hold of CCD?
So CC is www.cecd.org.za. And then on Facebook, it also is the Center for Early Childhood Development. And on Twitter, it is CECD_online. Michaela, you can tell me if that's incorrect, though.
Okay. I'm sure Michaela will give us a thumbs up soon. Okay, Jess, I am going to we've come to the end of the interview, but you know we always end it off on a fun note. But at the end of the interview, and I want you to think about it now, so I'm giving you some time, you know, I want you to leave us with a message for ECD principals and teachers and parents who may be watching now or may watch this video at a later stage. Just a message for them to, as I say in Afrikaans, kap aan during this lockdown period. So I think we're going to end it with some wise words from Jessica Blom at the end. Okay? But now let's get into the game, Jess. We're going to find out a little bit about what Jessica Blom's childhood was like. So you know how it works, Jess. And also maybe warm up those vocal cords right now. If you want to do a little do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do that. And yeah, so let's get into it. I'm going to read out a little statement and then you just tell us the very first thing that comes to your mind. Are you ready, Jess?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, your favorite childhood book?
Ooh. Okay, I would say Nancy. I was a big Nancy Drew fan, or The Faraway Tree.
Okay, your favorite, I'm not sure if, I know we had this conversation about watching TV. I think it was you, me, and Bridget. And I can't remember which one of you didn't really watch much TV, but your favorite TV show growing up?
Ooh, that's difficult. I mean, I did definitely watch TV. There used to be this, I wasn't really allowed to watch it, but I used to watch it. I think it was a detective show called Jessica Fletcher, if I remember correctly. And I used to love it.
But I love that her name was Jessica as well.
I think that's partly why I love it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Your favorite childhood outfit or piece of clothing that you loved wearing?
I used to have those like fresh produce T-shirts, and I used to love them. You know, like the ones with all the patterns on them.
Okay. So Michaela also says Faraway Tree was my favorite as well. And Murder She Wrote, says Michaela as well.
Murder She Wrote, that's what it's called.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. Your favorite childhood hairstyle?
So I don't know if I had a hair. So I always had quite short hair. This long hair is a new thing of late. So I always just had like quite a short haircut. I don't think there was anything amazing about it. It was just a short. My mom was quite worried. I was very bald for a long time when I was a small baby. So she was worried that I wasn't going to have any hair at all.
Okay, but did you ever do like Alice bands or like the slide? What do they call that? Was it called slide?
Yeah. I mean, I did a lot of Alice bands. Definitely a lot of Alice bands.
Okay. Your favorite childhood teacher? And you can say your mom, because I know your mom was a teacher, so you can say.
I mean, she was a teacher, but she never taught me, thankfully. I'm quite grateful for that. So, I mean, my grade 1 teacher at Grove definitely stands out. And then also at high school, my matric history teacher, Miss Fish, was my favorite. She was just really inspirational, and it's where my love for history definitely comes from.
Okay, shout out to Miss Fish. And who was the teacher in grade 1? Do you remember the name?
Miss Trutter.
Trutter. Okay, and shout out to Miss Trutter. Okay, your favorite childhood food?
Tricky. I love food. I think I've always loved food. As a child, it was probably lasagna. Was a definite favorite.
Okay, okay. And then Jess, the moment that we've all been waiting for. Your favorite childhood singer or band? Choose wisely now, eh? Choose wisely.
Okay, so there was definitely a love of Spice Girls. Definitely, like in grade one and grade two, they
Yes.
were they were top.
Okay, and which Spice Girl was like your favorite? You're like, I was this Spice. Who was your favorite?
I'm quite embarrassed to say this, but I think it was Baby Spice.
I knew it. I was like, was it Baby Spice? Okay, Jess, you know the rules. Give us a little Spice Girl song there.
Oh no, Chanel, I cannot. I'm not gonna sing.
What about how about I sing the part and then you sing the little answer, okay?
Oh no, that's also not. What about if you sing and I dance?
And you dance. Okay, let's go. Let me just think of one quickly.
What about if you want to be my lover? You gotta get with
Okay,
my friend.
there we go. Yo, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really, really, really wanna zig zig ah. Those dance moves were brilliant. Brilliant.
I can't believe people are saying that.
Okay, Jess, if you could describe your childhood in one word, what would that word be?
Loving.
Sweet. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, Jess, is there anybody that you would like? Oh no, let's go to your um words of encouragement to those in the ECD sector, especially our principals, our teachers, and parents. What would you say to just keep them going or motivate them to keep going?
I mean, so the first thing is to say, please keep going. We know that it is a really difficult and trying time for most teachers and principals, and that we really, really think about them all the time. And what they do and the role that they play in society is so important and so critical. And we really hope that they are able to make it through this time, because what they need to do in terms of teaching children is so important, and it really is such a trying time for most ECD centers, and to not be earning an income is horrendous, but that what they do is important and that they mustn't give up.
Cool. Thanks so much for that, Jess. So, Jess, is there anybody that you would like to say hi to, give a shout out to? Now is your time.
I mean, so there were lots of people who are listening. So my stepmom Annie, I think my dad especially might have got an Instagram to watch this. Hi, Dad.
Hello, Jessica's dad.
And Michaela and Sarah and Justin and the other Jessica and Yusra. And so just thanks to everybody, and to Lani for listening.
Yay. Okay, and then I just want to give a big shout out to my grandfather who turned to 84 today. I'm so happy that we still get to have him and enjoy him, and he's been such a blessing. And yeah, I'm excited to just celebrate him today. So Jessica Blom, thank you so much. You've been amazing. I told you that you were going to be inspiring. I knew you were going to do great. And just thank you for imparting your wisdom and knowledge and just your positive vibes with us today. And we just know that your work will just flourish and that you will continue to be blessed. So thank you so much, guys. I know it's tough times, like my uncle would say, my uncle Dion. Be strong, guys. Hang in there. We can do this. This too shall pass. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.